conducted by a
Hey, that's me.
Hey guys, I'm back in black. Speaking of black, I just watched the newest season of Black Mirror. Season 4 was recently released on Netflix, and of course, I have some things to say about it. Now, I've heard a lot of mixed reviews, mostly good, but if you're looking for only good reviews, this ain't your channel, because here you're getting honest reviews. So sit down and buckle up, because I'm about to break into a brief but honest look into Black Mirror Season 4. Episode 1, Starfleet. Okay, this is clearly trying to vilify a cold gaming engineer who escapes into a personalized video game based on his favorite show, Star Trek. I mean Starfleet. But here's the catch. He uses actual DNA from his coworkers to create and trap replications of said coworkers into the game. The episode starts off with a new employee getting her DNA stolen by the engineer, and he put a virtual copy of her into the game. My problem is, how the heck do you get an exact personality and memory match of a human in virtual form from their goddamn DNA? Huh? Riddle me that. That's not even possible. Also, why doesn't the world stop when the creator, engineer guy pauses the game? Why would he design it like that? There's no reason for him to design it like that. When he pauses the game, the characters are somehow still sentient during this time? You'd think if he made a whole world, he'd make it so it can pause while he's away, and all the other characters won't be able to conspire somehow. Also, I find it hard to believe that he would want an exact identity and personality match of coworkers just set in a universe he likes. Like, you know, in reality, that mofo would upload a physical copy of a coworker he dislikes so he could punch that guy, or the girl he likes so he could freak on her. He would program them how he wants them to be. Pretty simple, right? It's like the writers of the show don't even know how humans would interact with new science and technology, which is the whole point of making a good piece of science fiction. Episode 2, Archangel. So in this episode, a mother is overprotective and utilizes futuristic technology to monitor her daughter's life experiences through a neural implant, which she later realizes makes her daughter seek out what sort of violent content is being filtered out by this neural implant. So she stops using the device and lets her daughter experience negative stimulus on her own. That is, until the daughter is a teenager and lies about going home one night to mac on some edgy dude from school. The mom realizes this boy is a bad influence on her daughter, so she threatens the boy with blackmail, and the daughter eventually finds out that her mother is invading her privacy and controlling her life on the back end yet again. So then, in a fit of rage, the daughter beats the mom over the head with the iPad used to control the Archangel program and runs away from home. This is very much like an episode warning against protective parenting, more so than exploring the negative effects that this Archangel program could have on a child. This felt more like a drama with one-dimensional characters that would have happened with or without the Archangel technology. It's a mom being overprotective and a teenager lashing out. Now, I would have much rather watched an episode exploring this little girl growing up with the Archangel technology and realizing that by filtering out negative experiences or emotions, she becomes somewhat sociopathic. Or how about this? The Archangel tech goes wrong, and now the girl has to go through life with everything blurred and filtered out. There's much more of a focus on technology and its negative effects on society and humanity with both of these options I just said. It really feels like this show wasn't written by people that are science fiction fans. Episode 3, Crocodile. So, a woman finds herself in a web of lies after she aided a homicide with her past lover. When the now ex-lover that made her aid the homicide decides to come clean 15 years later, our main character decides she won't have it and kills the dude. When a woman who records accidents for a living through Sci-Fi Alert, a memory recording device, comes to her door to record a bus accident our main character earlier witnessed, she accidentally reveals her past killings, and subsequently decides to kill the woman. But not before she uses the one piece of science fiction in this whole episode, the memory recording device, to reveal that the female investigator had told her husband about her whereabouts earlier that day. Understandably so. Our protagonist then kills a woman, and then drives to the city, finds out where the professional and her husband live, breaks in, and kills the husband. If this is starting to sound like a bad plotline, that's because it is. There's literally no dimension to this character, and no previous history of violence to even suggest her actions. At the end of this episode, our main character then sits in on her child's music recital, looking sad as heck about her newfound psycho-killer tendencies. There's really nothing science fiction about this episode beyond one single device. Sounds familiar? And the character arc is unexplained and poorly written. She's a mother who decides to suddenly go on a killing rampage to hide one accident that happened 15 years earlier. There's no previous character development to suggest why the character would respond this way, and the character constantly throughout the episode goes through flashes of violence and apathy, then guilt, disgust, and sorrow? It really doesn't get explained, or make any sense whatsoever. This show is just a drama about humans being irrationally crappy. Oh, and maybe throw in a science fiction doodad in an otherwise current world. Episode 4, Hang the DJ. The dating tech episode. This one actually made me think a bit, not necessarily about how humans respond to tech, but rather how knowing something is finite can affect our way of thinking and approaching relationships. There is an idea of people in a dystopic society where they're stuck in a dating system until they find the one at the whim of a handheld machine. It's actually a plot twist though, because we find out that the world we've been watching was actually a controlled simulation conducted by a computer in order to get the best real-world pairing for people. Essentially Tinder if Tinder had really good AI, and maybe less tools. Episode 5, Metalhead. Hey, you know that popular game Horizon Zero Dawn? Well, we made a spin-off of the post-apocalyptic world where machine animals rule, but like in modern day because our budget isn't big enough to actually make a new world this entire series. Unfortunately, they never developed the characters enough for us to care. Episode 6, Black Museum. This episode tells many stories based around scientific advances and manipulations of the human body and mind. A girl wanders into a museum and runs into a skeevy and very sweaty man who shows her artifacts of his entrepreneurial endeavors in medical technology and recounts the stories behind them. The first story is all focused on body horror. This story feels inspired by The Fly or just any Cronenberg work in general. The second is about uploading human consciousness, a popular theme that Black Mirror has already explored several times. And the third story is about, well, the same thing, but then using that consciousness to torment a long-deceased convict. However, in the true Black Mirror fashion, there must be an outlandish and crappy plot twist. We find out that the girl was the ex-convict's daughter and she was seeking revenge for the immoral entrepreneur's torture on her father's virtual duplicate. She poisons the guy, uploads his consciousness into her father's mind, painfully kills them both, and then burns down the museum. After which she reveals that she has previously used the man's inventions before to upload her now deceased mother's consciousness into her own mind. This story is very convoluted and, as usual, far-fetched as heck. If only they had just gone lightly with this one and had just done an episode with mini stories in it, pointing to a greater exploration of the relationship between humans and technology. But no, it's a goddamn self-righteous revenge mission. So that's it, folks, my quick and dirty look into Black Mirror Season 4. If you enjoyed the new season, no harm done. However, I highly recommend watching other sci-fi shows such as Westworld or Star Trek: The Next Generation. These shows explore how humanity might respond with future technology in a much more philosophical and realistic way. Anywho, if you guys like this video, feel free to subscribe and follow along. And what did you guys think? Did you enjoy Black Mirror Season 4? Or did you feel a little bit more like I did about it? What were your favorite and least favorite episodes? Let me know in the comments below. And as always guys, I'll see you next time.